Alrighty guys, I'm KC and welcome to a brand new Let's Play here on the Let's Play channel. We are going to be playing through a game called Enteral Darkness. Now I will warn you guys right off the bat, this is an adult themed game in the sense that there is a lot of horror in it. It is a survival horror game, so please be aware of that before we get into this game, that there are a lot of scary things in this game. There are a few jump scares. And the enemies are like zombies and creatures of the undead. They do look scary, so if you find yourself getting nightmares from that stuff, then ease away from it. But this is Enteral Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, and in my opinion, the best survival horror game in the world.
Flesh, bone, bound together with the oddest magical incantation. This wretched book is where it all began so long ago. Before time. Before humanity. I am Dr. Edward Roivas. I am a clinical psychologist. I am also dead. This is not my story, nor even the story of the Roivas family. It is the story of humanity. Like it or not, believe it or not, as you will. Your perceptions will not change reality, but simply color it. Humanity has been on the edge of extinction for 2 millennia, ignorant of so much and dependent on so few. The Guardians grow restless. Their time once again near. Whether by fate or misfortune, my family has crossed their path. And they didn't take kindly to it. Their attention turns to my granddaughter, for she is the last of my line, and the last hope for humanity.
So here we are, we're taking control of Alex Roivas, and the idea is simple. You just gotta take out these creatures. Well, that's the idea. Thing is, after a little bit of a while, you get a lot more than you can handle, and you do run out of ammo. Now, I always thought you had to let these guys hit you to get past this bit, but I was doing a test let's play just to sort of make sure that everything worked perfectly fine, and it did. And I realised that you could just run away from them and you'll get here in the end.
Remember me, Alex.
Hello?
Miss Alexandra Roivas?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Inspector LeGrasse of the Rhode Island Police. I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's been an accident with your grandfather.
I'll be on the next flight out.
Ah, Miss Roivas, I'm pleased to meet you. I trust you had a pleasant trip?
Yes, I suppose so, considering.
Yes, my condolences. This is most unpleasant. It's a shame we couldn't meet under brighter circumstances.
Yes, it is. Can we get this over with, please?
Of course, this way. But I must warn you, it's not a pleasant sight. I'm afraid there's not much to see.
Like I said, not a pretty game.
Miss Roivas, is that your grandfather, Edward?
Yes, it's him. He's wearing our family ring. I don't understand. Why are you showing me this? Can't you check dental records or something? What is wrong with you?
I'm I'm sorry. It's my job, lady. You're the only living relative, and no, we can't check dental records. There's no head. None of this makes sense. There's no sign of intrusion, and there was certainly a lot of force used here. I have never seen anything like this in my 20 years on the force. We have no evidence except for the body, and what's left doesn't say much. We don't have a single clue.
Well, you better find out who did this. I'm not leaving Rhode Island until you do. There must be some clue in this old mansion revealing what happened. I want answers.
So do I. I wish I had some.
Shocked by her grandfather's mysterious death and frustrated at the incompetence of the local police, Alex vows to uncover the truth. She decides to search the mansion, the place where Edward conducted his research. If there was a tie to his past and possibly a tie to his murderer, it would be here. So we could run around and we could explore this entire mansion right off the bat, you know. I think this door's actually locked if I remember rightly. Yes. And there are a few doors we can go in, but since we'll explore this mansion as we progress through the story, I'm just going to sort of like just look at a couple of things. First thing you've got are these portraits here. I'm not quite sure who that is, but there's one over here, and I believe this is Maximilian. It looks like Maximilian to me, and he's a character we'll see later on. Looks a little bit like Maximilian to me, who's actually one of my favourite characters to play as in here. So, the first puzzle that we need to solve in this game, because it's a survival horror game, and it's got puzzles in it that you do need to solve, is this clock over here. So, I've played this game quite a few times, so I know what I'm doing. You've got a desk there, we'll find stuff there later. But this clock here is kind of what we've got to use. If you look, the looming grandfather clock seems to stand ominously in the corner. We use the left and right analog stick to change the hands, and we can adjust the hands with Alex. And we got to find the right time to put it at. So this actually confused a lot of people when I was a kid. When I was a kid, my mum got stuck on this puzzle, my cousin got stuck on this puzzle. But me being me, I like to fully explore an area fully, and I noticed that this clock right here, there's actually a portrait back here as well, by the way. Like so. And it all says the same text. There's this clock here, look. A beautiful carriage clock. The hands appear to be stuck, yet the clock continues to tick, with the time permanently set to 33 minutes past 3. There is a key in the back of the clock, presumably for winding it. Should Alex take the key? Yes, we pick up the key, but it's actually a dresser key. And we'll get to using that a little bit later on in the story. But this game is broken down into parts, and I think it's 12 parts, I want to say. 12, 13 parts, something like that. Each part is a character, and you play as a different character. Alex is obviously our main character, we'll play as her the most. But the game is all about finding chapter pieces, and I'll show you what a chapter piece is in just a little bit. So remember, we saw that back there at 3:33, and I'm wondering if I just like go past it, would it? Yes, I gotta actually stop on it. There we go. So stuck around this house are chapter pieces that we need to read, and when we read them, we relive the character that's writing them. People that are key to this final puzzle, key to the grandfather's death. You know, for example, this we'll get to use later on, and I think that reveals a chapter piece, and I'm sure we could probably see it now. There on the wall, there's a chapter piece as well, but we can't get it yet. An aged page set inside a glass frame hangs on the wall, and insane scribbling covers the page, incomprehensible to Alex. Perhaps if Alex had some kind of tomb or tome, it could be deciphered. Now I say tome because I like the word tome better. Okay, a large leather-bound antique book rests upon the cluttered desk. Shall Alex read it? Yes. So this is the Tomb of Eternal Darkness, or the Tome of Eternal Darkness. There's Mad Rock.
I had no knowledge of what was to come, nor did I care. How the knowledge changed me it will also change you. As you read this, you will come to learn fear as I have. You too will come to understand, or you will perish. To think that once I could not see beyond the veil of our reality. To see those who dwell behind. My life now has purpose, for I have learned the frailty of flesh and bone. I was once a fool. Where is Quies Candamest? Where is Conservandine? Facusatis aquae sumat, et animus eorum confirma. Pugna huis, dia sit modo prima multarum, si inceptum conficiamus.
Quam primum, Centurio Augustus. I would like to compliment you once more on your battle tactics. Our enemies did not have a chance. Do you believe that it really exists, Centurion?
I do not doubt our Emperor's beliefs, or his orders. But if we are to retrieve the artifact, then we must be strong and patient. Come to us, Pious Augustus.
I love that noise. It's one of my favourite noises in all of video games. But here we are. Oh, we can examine that. Let's have a little read of that. See, that's the Manta Rock ruin. The dais on the floor is finely crafted, inlaid with the gold and gems that Pious can't identify. A strong lineage design is situated in the middle, and is equally unknown to the Roman soldier. Like, this game was so good and so in depth, and you know, keep an eye on these surroundings. Remember what this place looks like, because we will be back here later on. You see, we're in, I think it's 2000 AD. Does it actually? I already know all of this. Actually, I want to just quickly save, so I'm going to save on memory card slot 1, and I know there's a save there, but I'm going to save over it. The reason I'm saving over it is because, oh, it tells us there. We're in 26 BC, okay. The reason I'm saving over it is because I did an episode last night of this, just to make sure that everything was recording properly. A ladder leads into the dark heart of the labyrinth. Danger lurks beneath, yet Pious' courageous resolve does not buckle. Should Pious climb down the ladder? It's kind of the way that I would write something, the way that phrasing, my writing style. I didn't write this game though. But yeah, the story of the game counts forward from 26 BC to the present day, with us playing as different characters that are involved with the Tomb of Eternal Darkness, or the Tome of Eternal Darkness. And we'll revisit several places over the course. Now right here, I don't think you can actually die as Pious. But these are your like standard enemy. Very simple. And the reason I don't think you could die as Pious is because we don't have a health meter. We will get an health meter. You can finish enemies, which will become very important later on doing that. But for right now, it's merely a waste of time. A strange granite block lies on the floor, so we pick it up. This is Chattur'gha, I think. I know a couple of the names off the top of my head. I know Manta Rock, Chattur'gha. I know Chattur'gha because I didn't actually remember Chattur'gha. I was the one that I picked yesterday when doing it, and then I remembered it from there. But it's this green one that I can never remember, so I'm gonna just take another look at it. Oops, not what I meant to do. I meant to examine it. As you can see, we've got another one here, another granite block, and these will relate to the sort of like magic in the game, if you will. Later on, with each one having its own effect. There are quite a few like creatures. I don't know what you'd call these, to be honest with you, because they're not like zombies, but they're like skeletons. Just missing their bow and arrows. Okay, and there we go, we got another granite block. So yeah, this place will change as the years pass by in the story, and new things will be added, so it won't be the exact same, but we will basically see the same principle. For example, there'll be a door here at some point, and a door here, whereas right now there's not a door here. So keep that in mind, remember what these places look like. I think there's like 3 or 4 different places that we'll see a few times over the course. I know this is one of them, and I actually really kind of like this one. And did I miss one here? No, there must be later on that there's something on that bit. So if we go in here, this is like our first kind of puzzle, which is kind of easy and simple to solve. As you can see, we've got markings on the wall, and all we got to do is we got to put those granite blocks in with the correct markings. But if you've been paying attention, we are indeed missing one, and that one's right there in the middle. So the purple is Mantarok. He's sort of like a little bit of the other 3. So for example, we'll get 3 meters over the course of this game, right? We'll get a magic meter, a sanity meter, and a health meter. The red Chattur'gha rune deals with our health. This rune, which I can't remember the name of, deals with our sanity, whereas this one mainly deals with our magic. So if we can just go like here. Make sure you put the right one in the right one, otherwise you get it. This one's Ulyaoth, I believe. There we go. And I gotta see if I can remember all the spells, although that's not a problem just yet because we don't really have all that much magic at the moment, at this moment in time. But the game is, the story of this game is really worth the playthrough. Oh, I didn't pick this up. I would happily play through this story. Now I'm going to probably play through this story 3 times, one with each of the runes, because I've never beat the game by playing as all 3 runes, and I often wondered if at the end if you actually got Mantarok unlocked or not. I mean, I don't know, because like I said, I've never done it. I've beat it with 2 of the runes, but I've never beat it with all 3. And that's what we're going to do here. I may not do them like straight one after one another. I may do like one of the runes, then we'll go on to another Let's Play. And then I'll come back to it with the other 2, because I don't want to just play this game once on the channel. I would like to play it a couple of times. Or maybe I'll just play through all 3 straight after one of this. So this just basically gives us our tutorial on attacking, which is actually relatively easy. You hold the right trigger, and you'll immediately lock onto the center target, and then you just use the analog stick to sort of direct where you want to go. So for example, we can take off the head, we can take off the arm by holding right, and then this one by holding left, and then take him out, and that opens this door for us, and we can go in here. So the game itself is actually quite simple, but it gets a lot more complex as it goes on, and it introduces you very slowly to the stuff, which is really kind of good. And I'm sure that we will die a couple of times. Now, there isn't really a difficulty to this game, so to speak. Okay, be pedantic. A button attached to a small pylon softly illuminates the room. Bizarre energy seems to radiate from it. Should Pious push the button? There we go. So the game itself doesn't particularly have what I would call a difficulty rating, although it does. If you actually look at the game really closely, you've got these 3 runes here, and this is going to determine your final boss. Now, I don't know if I've ever faced this boss. I know I've faced this boss and this boss on the same save, but I never completed the game 3 times on one save, but I'm sure. But anyway, these will pretty much determine the kind of enemies that you face for the most part throughout the moor. Now, if you face the green enemies, you just take their head off and they die. really, really easy to do. These ones go down in a couple of hits as well, but a little bit more than these, whereas these ones you have to hack off all the body parts, if I remember rightly. So I always said this was easy, normal and hard, but to be honest, the difficulties between the three aren't that grand. It's not that much more difficult. There's no real reason to take this one if you're worried about doing it on hard mode, because this isn't that much harder, it really isn't. So like I said, it's not really got a difficulty, but if you really want to analyze it, it does. So this is one of them, but it doesn't actually tell me which one it is. So this is the red claw, this is the jellyfish, as I like to call it, and this one is like, I don't know, like a moth, warped angel. So we're actually going to take this artifact. Now when you beat the game once and you continue playing the game on another save, well, on this save, sorry, you continue on this save, and you come back here for the second time as Pious Augustus, the red one won't be there, Chattur'gha won't be there. And now, the first hero we played as becomes the villain. And like I said, guy looks awesome. Scary.
Eons have passed since then, and I have learned much. Chattur'gha's power filled me, invigorating my dead body. With a touch, I could level buildings, rend the ground asunder, and channel power such as mortal men could only dream. Face me, and you shall surely perish.
Alex has acquired the Tome of Eternal Darkness. So as you look now, this page looks slightly lit up because I believe we can do something with it. But that's going to call it for this episode, guys. So, if you have enjoyed the video, oh, we got another key. Second floor key. Aha! I didn't think we had that before. Okay, cool. So as you can see, this is sort of the Tome of Eternal Darkness, look. Yeah, look. Cool, I never actually paid attention to this journal before. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and save it, guys, and that's going to do it for this episode. So, if you've enjoyed the video, please do consider leaving a like. It really helps out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So please do leave that like, and click subscribe if you want to see more from me. Guys, I'm Casey, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.